My name is David Nips, and you are watching the first ever episode of Marketer Reacts, where as I scroll through social media or I'm searching on the internet, when there's an ad that come across my feed that I think would be interesting to react to, or that would just be simply educational for you guys who are watching so that you can learn things that I look at as a professional marketer working with our clients, things that I look at that you can use to better improve your ads. However, if you have an ad campaign that you want me to react to, feel free to link it down below in the comments, send it to me on Instagram at david.nips, or go to davidnips.com. All of those links are down there in the description. Feel free to actually submit your ads, and I will react to them to give you some feedback and better improve your results. So without further ado, the first company that we're going to be reacting to is called Yard Dudes, and they are a landscaping and sod company. And the reason that I'm choosing this as the first campaign for me to react to is because they actually targeted me a couple of days ago, and it was a great targeting because my grass looks a little bit like this right now in my backyard. And for me, their opening hook that they have of dead grass making your neighbors laugh, that drew me right in, because for those of you who are homeowners and pay attention to like gardening and landscaping, grass and things of that nature, yes, you do it for yourself because it's fun to be in nature. It's, fun to do all that kind of stuff and feel proud of your home. But also when your neighbors are walking their dog, or they're driving down the street, or they're in their backyard, they look over at your yard and they're like, wow, like the landscaping, the grass, all of that, it looks great. It's just a thing when it comes to home ownership. And their ad definitely drew me in. So to show you what this ad looks like, it starts with dead grass making your neighbors laugh, become the star of your block and get perfect grass all year round. And then they introduce something called Sod the Destroyer. They go into how the process works. And then over here on the right-hand side is what it looks like when you scroll down. They have a picture of sod being laid in, somebody's yard, and then a headline of get grass that makes you smile and laugh. So this is an overview of what the ad looks like when it targeted me on my feed. But before I go into some of the ideas of improvements and critiques that I might have on this copy, I also want to share what it looks like when you click that Learn More button right here. So when you open it on your phone, it essentially sends you to their homepage, right, where it has landscaping service. It has like a long about section here on there, and then as you scroll down, it has all of the different services that they offer, right? That's where they send you when you click on that ad. So before we dive into actually also sharing some ideas on the landing page here, let's circle back and talk about this ad copy and things that I would recommend to change and improve to get even better results from this ad campaign. So first things first, great opening hook, right? Does dead grass making your neighbors laugh? As I said before, that's a great resonation connection point. It's funny, right? Great opening hook. And honestly, when somebody's scrolling through their feed, they're not going to see all that copy underneath. They're just going to see dead grass making your neighbors laugh. And I think that's enough for me to get somebody to actually want to click that see more button to read the rest. Only little minor critique that I might have for this is to add a little laughing emoji at the end of it just to drive that point home. But then underneath it goes into become the star of your block and get perfect grass all year round. What I might recommend changing this to is it's time to become the star of your block and get perfect grass all year round. Reason being is I'm talking to them, and I'm like, it's time to become the star of your block and get perfect grass all, but you'll see I capitalized all because that's so important, where for a lot of people, their grass dies in the winter or it dies in late fall and things of that nature, and they're always trying to like re-water it, reseed it, all of that thing, and like really pronouncing that all year round, I think is so important. Then underneath, they have something that says, introducing Sod the Destroyer. For me, this is a little bit confusing, and I think they can really simplify this down a bit. So what I would recommend having here is introducing Yard Dudes sod planting service. Because for a lot of people, they know what a sod planting service is, and they've potentially heard of it before. But when I think of like Sod the Destroyer, I'm even thinking of like maybe it's a special kind of sod that you buy, but you have to lay it yourself. It's just not clear to me that it's an actual done-for-you service, right? So I would have nixed that, and I also didn't see much of that mentioned on their website. So I think just going with the name of the brand, Sod Planting Service, will really do and make sure that it's very clear of what they're offering. Then underneath, it says, this ready-for-you grass can be implemented all year round and destroys all your neighbors' negative opinions. Love that. I think that's awesome. Underneath that, though, what I would want to add in is some feature points of why sod is the right thing. So what you could do is have some like check mark emojis next to each of these or little bullets. And the ones that I picked are actually from the bottom of the ad down here, where they have just like multiple sentences down here. And I'll talk more about removing that in a moment, but I would take these and move them up here and have a list that says taking less than 2 days to install, capitalizing 2, because that's such a short period of time. Trust me, I've tried seeding. It takes weeks, and you see just like very minimal growth as you go. Number 2 is fully insured with our green grass guarantee. Green grass guarantee is not something that they've mentioned on their ads or their page yet, but it's something that I would implement in, because down here it says we are fully insured with all damages covered. When I hear all damages covered, to me I'm like, well, what potential damage could come from that? I want to make that a lot more positive and focus on green grass guarantee. Then underneath, serving New Jersey residents for 7+ years. They had serving our area since 2016. Sometimes people don't have a really good idea of time and like how long ago 2016 was. So I changed that to just 7+ years to show that you've been in business for a bit of time now. And then over 3,000 plus home serves. That's a great social proof item there of how many people you've worked with. So I really want to make that a center of one of the features up above. Then as we scroll down, what are you waiting for? I would just remove that. I think it's just unnecessary additional copy there. And then right here where it says visit our website today and start the journey of becoming the neighbor your neighbors admire. I think that's too much focused on admiring neighbors and things of that nature. So what I went with is click below to start the journey of getting the grass your neighbors will admire and save 10% on installation through our May special. Now, they don't have any discounts or promotions in their ad. And honestly, this company might be so busy that they don't need to run any promotions. However, what I'm a big fan of is like, what's that thing that can get people to take action right now rather than waiting till later? And if I'm like, oh, I can save 10%, there's a little bit of a discount there, it's available through May, let me take action on this now rather than potentially waiting till later and start there. Don't you want to be the first to take that step? Cool. Here's what to do. Step number 1, step number 2. Listen, I love the steps that they have here because oftentimes consumers don't really know where to start. Do I call? Do I have a consultation? Like, what exactly do I do? And saying, press that learn more button below to begin your journey. It's a very clear call to action. I love that. For step number 3, though, here, what I would probably recommend changing this to is instead of saying get your new grass to make your dreams come true and be the neighbor your neighbors admire, I would probably change that to be something that's more visionary focused, which is get your lawn on the fast track to green glory, right? We already kind of squeezed out that whole neighbors admiring, all of that. We've kind of already squeezed that for as much as it is. Let's focus on the grass now. And let's say, get your lawn on the fast track to green glory. Love how that sounds and how it pairs with the step number 1 and step number 2 that are already there. Then as we scroll down, it says learn more now. Cool. Good final call to action. And I think this ad will really read well with some of these changes. And then down here, they kind of just like threw in some text of some feature points that I actually moved up here, as you remember, a couple of minutes ago. So I would just nix this completely because I just don't think it fits really well there. But I do think this information is important to put above. Now, as we go on to that second page where we talk about the headline and the creative, I think the headline of Get Grass That Makes You Smile and Laugh, I think that's good. I think we could test that. But I might want to also add 2 more variations of headlines. Number 1 being Get Green Grass in 2 days, because I think that, when you think getting green grass, I used to think that seeding was the only way to do that, and it would take weeks to get the grass that you want. But to say get grass in 2 days, people love speed and not a lot of time, right? So I think that's a big feature there. The second one is save 10% through May 31st. That's a way of promoting a potential sale if they wanted to go down that route. In terms of the image here, love it because it's literally showing somebody installing that sod there and they can see where it's dirt and then where it's grass. I think that's a great image and I think it'll really drive home because it did get my attention as I was scrolling through. However, I always love split testing things and trying different variations of images. So 2 that I might suggest trying is this one on the left-hand side, which is like a before and after image, where on the left, it shows dead grass, an arrow, and then it shows really nice looking manicured green grass. Love that because it shows like the transformation effect. Then on the right-hand side, I also created a little bit of like an ad looking image where it says Yard Dude's sod planting service. discover the easiest way to achieve a picture-perfect yard with our top-notch sod installation services, say goodbye to patchy lawns and hello to a vibrant oasis with our quality grass sod. Nice opening paragraph there, and then an image of the sod being laid, and then some just like informational contact information below. I created this image in Canva in probably 10 minutes. So if you go to Canva and you look up something like green grass, you'll see templates for that. And no matter what business you're in, Canva, whether you have a dance studio, a service-based business, a dental office, whatever it is, there's probably a template for it that you can use inside of Canva and create something like this too. So implementing these changes, I think that this business is going to see maximized results from their social media advertising efforts. But then we go into the landing page. And right now with this landing page, it's way too much because when you open it on your phone, it's almost like it's designed for a desktop and it's hard to kind of navigate through. So for me as a consumer, even with the copy the way that it was, it got me to click. But then when I came here, I got confused, right? Because as you scroll down, the ad that I clicked was for sod, but now I'm seeing mulching, lawn mowing, shrub trimming, paving, fences, sod, gutters. Like there's all this stuff here. And as a business owner, it's easy to think, well, if they're interested in sod, they might be interested in all these other home services. And you're right. There's a great opportunity that somebody might want to come in for sod, but then when you're there, they also need a power wash or they also need something else. But now's not the time for it. We got their interest from the sod ad, so let's continue driving that home and let's get their contact information so that we can schedule a quote. So what I would recommend is not using the homepage at all. Create a separate page on your website. And as a marketer, we like to call this an opt-in page. And it might look something like this. Opening headline that says something like, start your sod journey today, book a free, get a free quote from us within 24 hours, something like that. Then we have features and benefits, and we can literally take the same features that we had on the ad and just put those bullet points here. And then we want to have an opt-in form where we collect name, email address, phone number, and then potentially zip code that they live in, so you can have an idea of where that lead is coming from. And then a call to action that says something like, request free quote now. That's all this page is we want to collect their contact information. And then when they submit the form, you can call them, you can text them, you can email them to book that appointment to go out and give them a quote and be able to get connected, answer their questions, things of that nature. This will simplify the process because when I'm on this page here, there's that small get quote button and the phone number in the top right corner. But there's so much other information here that's distracting to me, and it's taking away from the flow of get their contact information for the sod planting service, and that's it. However, another opportunity that's actually even more simple for small business owners is something called a Facebook lead form. And these are actually directly built inside of Facebook ads. And the reason these are great is because A, there's no loading time. When you click the ad, this form opens up immediately. Number two is it's hosted on Facebook. So there's a little bit more built-in trust of, I'm not going to another website, but I'm just staying on Facebook and filling out my information. And number three is it already pre-populates the person's information based on their Facebook profile. So their name, their email address, their phone number, and possibly even their zip code is already filled in. And they have the ability to edit it, but if it's right, they can just submit the form. That goes to you, and you're able to reach out to them. By simplifying this process, you're going to get so many more leads because so many people are landing on this page, getting confused, getting overwhelmed, and people are lazy, right? They don't want to have to figure out how do I get in touch or blah, blah, blah. They just want to have a form right in front of them that they can fill out and get contact so they can move forward with it. So this is the first episode of Marketer Reacts. As I said, if you want your ads to be audited by me, just like I'm doing right here, feel free to comment below or get in touch with me in some way and submit that. And I'm going to be releasing new episodes of this at least once per month, but probably more, especially if you enjoy it. So click that link below to subscribe to get notified when I release more of these in the future. Like this video if you want to see more just like this, and I will see you in next week's video.